That looks like a bad dude, too.
And you all want to know who that big bad dude was? That big bad dude was my twin brother. That big bad dude was a father. That big bad dude was a son. That big bad dude was enrolled at Tulsa Community College. Just wanting to make us proud. That big bad dude loved God. That big bad dude was at church singing with all of his flaws every week.
Well, today marks 4 years since a Tulsa police officer shot and killed Terence Crutcher, an unarmed black man. That officer charged, then acquitted, and Crutcher's family is still looking for justice.
This morning, KJRH VD's Mike Brooks gives us an in-depth look at the events that unfolded in the wake of Crutcher's death.
Around 7:30 in the evening on Friday, September 16th, Officer Betty Shelby was on her way to a domestic violence call when she came across an abandoned vehicle. The driver, later identified as Terence Crutcher, wasn't responding to Officer Shelby's commands, according to Shelby.
This guy's still walking and following commands.
Not for taser, I think.
Soon afterward, a police helicopter and another officer arrived on the scene. In the video from that day, you can see Crutcher walk to his car with his hands up before reaching into the driver's side window. Officer Shelby fired one shot at Crutcher. That shot, fatal. 40-year-old Crutcher was later pronounced dead at the hospital. 6 days later, Tulsa District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler announces that he will file charges of manslaughter in the first degree against Officer Betty Shelby.
I determined that the filing of the felony crime of manslaughter in the first degree against Tulsa police officer Betty Shelby is warranted.
On October 11th, the medical examiner releases a toxicology report showing that Crutcher had PCP in his system at the time of his death, but reiterates that he died as a result of a gunshot wound to the chest. The Tulsa Police Department begins field testing body cameras on police officers. TPD is the only city in Oklahoma that is awarded funding through this program. Betty Shelby's jury trial begins, and less than 10 days later, the jury acquits Shelby of first-degree murder. 2 days later, a juror in the trial releases a letter detailing the jury's thoughts and questions her judgment as a law enforcement officer. On May 22nd, 2017, a little more than 8 months after Crutcher died, Shelby returns to work at the Tulsa Police Department in a desk job. But by the end of the summer, Shelby would go from the Tulsa Police Department to join the Rogers County Sheriff's Office as a deputy.
A deputy sheriff of Rogers County.
1 year after Crutcher is shot and killed, his twin sister Tiffany forms the Terence Crutcher Foundation. Its goal is to work on solutions for racial inequity in Tulsa and beyond, specifically to rewrite the notions that black men like Crutcher are bad dudes. 4 days after the foundation's creation, the Tulsa City Council approves paying for Shelby's legal fees in a civil lawsuit brought against her and the city by the Crutcher family. That suit for the wrongful death of Terence Crutcher. But there would be no second trial. On May 3rd, 2018, a judge dismisses the wrongful death lawsuit against the city. 10 months later, U.S. Attorney Trent Shores announces that no civil rights charges will be brought against Betty Shelby after federal investigation.